Welcome to the trailhead. We got here by taking the bus from Palma to Galilea. Yes, that's right, the town has the same name as the birthplace of Jesus in the Bible, which is fitting. I'm taking this trip during my Christmas holidays. You may find some old pictures of Mallorca's peaks covered in snow in winter, but as a result of climate change, December now has the best hiking weather. I have had consistently sunny days with temperatures of around 16 to 18 degrees Celsius. However, there is a possibility of Mediterranean winter storms, so don't be afraid of some wind. On the first day, I hiked up to this fire lookout. From here, we have a great view of what's ahead of us. Don't worry about the map too much, I'll link the GPS tracks in the video description. When I went off trail to find a good campsite for the night, I spotted my first wildlife. The Mallorquin wild goat. Of course, Mama Goat has spotted me right away, while her child is quite absorbed in some kind of shrub. Looking down the cliff, then back to me, she seems to be weighing her options. Neither path seems to convince her. I make some noise and little goat notices me too. At first she seems scared, but then notices that Mama Goat remains calm and follows her lead. After Little Goat also had a chance to look down the cliff, Mama Goat decides it's time to move on. She picks a path that leads away from my position, but is more comfortable than going straight down the cliff. Little Goat follows.
I called a day early today to have some extra time for the first setup of this ultralight tarp, and that was a really good decision. Having the tarp saves a lot of weight. The whole setup, including the guy lines and pegs and everything, is less than 400 grams, but it also takes a little bit of practice to set up in a really tight spot here, so none of the standard tarp configurations really work. The wind is also insanely strong, so I had to make sure that it's all guyed out really well and the lines are really taut.
The shrubs you see all around me are wild rosemary, and I was smelling this amazing aroma all night. The dawn has come, the wind has finally died down. In my down sleeping bag and with my puffy jacket, I was really comfy and toasty underneath my tarp. However, I did have to reconfigure the tarp a little bit to give me more protection from the wind. It really wasn't that bad, but on the other side of the mountain, the storm was raging, and I was just scared that if the wind would turn, it would blow all of my things away, and that would have been catastrophic on the first day. On this second day, I was hiking further north towards the ocean. The small game trail I was following soon turned into a real hiking path. This made progress a lot quicker. Earlier, I called these goats wildlife, but to be honest, that's a bit of a stretch. They are the progeny of domestic goats, once introduced to the island by humans. In addition to that, most of the island is divided into parcels, which are fenced in. Some of the parcels are large enough not to restrict the natural movement patterns of the goats. Others are smaller, and the goats just get used to living in proximity to the hikers.
After one very intense night out, we are back in civilization. Look at this guy, the lost traveler. It's made from junk. I feel like it could also symbolize something else because this baggage is heavy. It's all trash. It's just like us as a species. We have a lot of heavy baggage, and that is the trash we created. I found this little hole in the wall grocery store. Nice bench where I could sit with a trash can. And this is great news because I can eat the stupid can of soup that I brought with me. I don't know what possessed me to bring such a heavy food item.
And there was also a little sparrow who was very eager to pick up the crumbs that I left behind.
Okay, now that we got this stupid soup out of the way, we can move on a little bit lighter.
This is also where I joined the main route of the GR221, a long-distance hiking trail along the northern mountains of Mallorca. It's also called the Dry Wall Trail because it frequently follows the characteristic Mallorquin dry walls as you can see in this shot.
It's after 4. I am officially looking for a campsite now, but there are fences to the left and to the right of me, and there have been for the past half hour. So I hope I get out of this sprawl soon because I don't have much daylight left. I found this small structure that seems to have something to do with electricity. Alright, welcome to my crib. As you can see, my sleeping mat fits in here perfectly. I have a little room for my backpack. Tea kitchen is right there. Dinner is also already served. And this is my view. Not bad, eh? Oh, it's so nice to have some warm tea after a long day. Oh, it's hot. Oh, it's so good. I was so happy to have some hot tea, I decided to make some more the next morning. It was later on that morning when I encountered some trail magic. Hello. What's his name or her name?
Olive.
Hey, Olive.
Olive belongs to Susan and Jonas, and they shared with me a really cool app with all the camping spots and water sources along the trail.
Thank you very much. Bye.
This day's hike led mainly through a forest area. The forest floor is littered with acorns, but the leaves look very different from the oak trees at home. The oak forests stretch as far as the eye can see, and the windy mountain trails through the woods can get confusing sometimes.
What the hell? Is this a dead end? Is this where the trail continues? Looks like it.
Being sure-footed in alpine terrain is always an advantage. But steep climbs were always a sign that I had lost the trail. In Esporles, I ate some typical Mallorcan meat pies. Back in higher altitudes, I see some real wildlife, but this one is much harder to catch on video. When I reach the mountain peaks, I can also take to the skies with a little help from my drone. Not everybody seems to be impressed with my drone flights. I feel like these two are silently judging me, disturbing what was otherwise a delightfully quiet and sunny afternoon. I decide to leave them in peace and move on. On the way to my campsite, I pass by some spectacular cliffs.
Welcome to another stay at the Million Stars Hotel. Today's specialty is pasta bolognese, double serving.
While the water for my pasta is boiling, let me show you the spectacular view from this campsite.
Yep, still as bad as I remembered.
The next day was quite unspectacular until
We've been following this dry stone wall for the last couple of kilometers, and now we found a little cave. And you just know we couldn't leave that unexplored. So let's see what that's all about. And we see that it's not very far, and it's a cistern. It's a water reservoir. Dirty, mucky, old cave water. And we can also see that some animal has chosen this cave as its final resting place.
there's another tree that really shapes the character of the lower altitude forests of Mallorca. Its gnarly bark is full of knots. It subsists on little water and yet produces a highly sought after fruit. Many of the olive trees you can see on this island are hundreds of years old. It is not uncommon for the dead wood at the core of these elder specimens to rot away completely, leaving behind a hollow trunk. The remaining living layers are windy and twisty, supporting and embracing each other like lovers, performing a slow botanical dance which challenges our perception of time. But there's also another crop which is characteristic for Mallorca.
Oh my god. It's amazing.
On this day, we also finally get to see the ocean up close. I took a deviation from the original route of the GR221 to follow the coastline. Check out the size of this pine tree. Trails along the coast are not part of the official GR and are not maintained as well. Expect to climb over some fallen trees and squeeze through some very overgrown passages.
We are in Soyer, very beautiful city, but I was counting on filling up my water bottle here and everything is closed. Oh, that protein was well appreciated and needed. That was probably one of the most decadent meals I've ever had. It was a double cheeseburger, but instead of a bun, they used glazed donuts. And they were glazed with homemade orange jam. Well, if I read my map correctly, this is the last village where I can buy water for the next 3 days. But today is a holiday and it's late in the afternoon and everything was closed, so I did not have any opportunity to buy some water. I do have a filter and some purification tablets. If worse comes to worse, then I'll use that, I guess. So I'm not too happy about my sleeping place. It's basically just on the side of the trail. But night has fallen and at this point I think I just have to make the best of it. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll just get up early tomorrow and nobody will see us. It's early in the morning. I did not get disturbed in my sleep. However, I'm doubling back because I've realized that I do not have enough supplies to stay on the mountain for 3 or 4 days without any refills, and that's exactly what I'm planning to do. And I don't think there are any resupply opportunities on the mountain. It was a bit stupid to go that far yesterday evening, but at the same time there just weren't any suitable sleeping spots near Soyer. I'm still mad at myself for how I dealt with this yesterday. The fact that I couldn't resupply in Soyeres was really fucked up my plan. But instead of just ignoring it and pushing on, I should have taken the time to think about what to do and react accordingly. And the best strategy would have been to book a hostel room in Soyeres, resupply in the morning, and then continue. I think I will do what I should have done yesterday and spend a day at the beach in Soyeres, spend the night in a hostel, and then continue the trek tomorrow.
After my day off on the beach, I continued my journey into the mountains. The 2 sections ahead are the most beautiful ones of the whole trail. If you only have a couple of days, I recommend that you go to Soyer and follow the GR221 east. That's where you follow this rock pathway, which winds its way up the mountains in endless serpentines.
You have to check out this echo. Ew! So good.
The path will lead you through the most spectacular canyons and the narrowest gorges of all of Mallorca.
Somebody lost some chocolate. Trail chocolate.
Once you conquer the ascent, you'll find yourself on a high mountain plateau populated by donkeys and many, many species of birds. This plateau is also the site of two large water reservoirs and some kind of military installation on the very highest mountain. The biodiversity around these water reservoirs is spectacular. Unfortunately, many of the most beautiful birds, such as the bee-eater, are smaller and very quick. So by the time I had turned on my camera, they were already gone. But here are the ones that I did manage to capture. While I was filming these sheep, I noticed a large commotion in the sky. All kinds of birds of prey were circling above a certain rock. The rock is a sanctuary for protected bird species, such as the Mallorquin black vulture, Bonelli's eagle, and the cinereous vulture, which, with over 3 meters of wingspan, is the largest bird in all of Europe. The animal I'm filming here is the slightly smaller griffin vulture. With up to 11.5 kilos, this is certainly also a heavyweight bird. Unfortunately, while I was filming, I had a little accident.
Ah, fuck this. Okay, as you can see, my selfie stick broke in 2 pieces. And since this is really my most important tool to make these videos, I'm going to try to fix it. Okay, now I will heat up both ends of this plastic and hopefully it will weld together. It's not the most elegant solution, but I think it worked. Let's see for how long. I don't feel like talking to the camera today. I don't know why, but I'm tired, walking slow. I almost feel like I'm hungover. I did have one beer yesterday. So that was like being 36 years old. Get a hangover from a single beer. Damn. I'm not sure what this is, but in the past I've been pretty lucky with canned food in southern countries. So let's see. Ooh. This. It's okay, it's some kind of meatball with peas and carrots, but meatball's a little bit weird. I bought this bread this morning
smoking some tea. Over there there's a goat looking at me, curious what I'm doing. Weather forecast is clear, so I didn't bother with the tarp. Just cowboy camping tonight. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit cold, but not because my gear isn't good. But look at all this moisture. There is so much. There's a puddle. It didn't rain, it's just a puddle of dew. It's just moist air from the sea blowing over the mountain, bringing all this dew in the morning. As soon as my sleeping bag gets that wet, because it's down, of course, it doesn't insulate very well anymore. So, right behind me on this path, I just wanted to walk this path, but the goats wanted to cross it. So I'm stopping. They can easily cross. Look at this old guy. Look at his horns. Oh my god. He has seen some fights. Look at these horns. Damn. Look at this cave. Should we go explore it? I think I'd regret it if I didn't. God, look at how deep it is. Nope. 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 Not without a rope. I've reached the apex of the tour, so I guess it's time for another one of these. I'm in Palencia, whatever. This was the last section of my trip. It was a pretty good trip. Bye.